Wuju kawaza maja kalewa. Alright, everybody, you've just been summoned to the Retrotime Podcast. We've drawn the circle, we've inscribed the runes, and now you're here in the Nightosphere with us, listening to the podcast.
Yep.
You are now just as damned as us. So settle in, because we just watched the first 9 episodes of the second season of Adventure Time.
Hell yeah. Have you ever played the game Tak and the Power of Juju?
Oh, wow.
That's how
what a coincidence.
That's how that game opens up.
Oh, yeah, it is, actually.
Anyway.
I meant that as a reference to summoning the demon.
Anyway, we're moving right along from that amazing...
That is how that game starts, though.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, we're talking about Adventure Time, people. We're back. And better than ever.
I mean, we're not significantly better than last time, but, I mean, it is the next season.
We're making minor improvements along the way.
we got some...
What's the first episode?
Yeah, the first episode, Loyalty to the King.
Loyalty to the King.
One of the episodes I had forgotten about.
Yeah, it's certainly one of these that, like, get lost in the mists of memory.
It's certainly not one of the best remembered, but certainly not... worse off for it because it was really funny.
It's not very well remembered, but it's not a bad. It doesn't make it bad. It's just kind of one of those ones, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it feels like a season 1 episode still.
Yeah, it does, and it's a pretty funny episode. Ice King is depressed and insane, and that's just the way he is.
Of course.
So, to make himself feel better, he shaves his beard.
He shaves his beard off.
And now suddenly no one knows who he is.
Nobody recognizes anymore because he has this horrific bean head.
Yeah, that is the weirdest looking thing. And, like, I love how, like, just, like, he looks like he's giant and fat, but, like...
He's actually just all beard.
He's actually just all beard and...
cloak.
Beard and...
Or beard and robe.
Robe, or... kimono or whatever the heck it is.
whatever exactly. Blue bedsheet that he drapes around himself.
Yeah, exactly.
On a daily basis.
So anyway, nobody recognized him as the Ice King, and he starts going by the Nice King.
And through a hilarious mishearing of his name, he is now Nice King.
Yep. And, like, for some reason, everybody really likes him.
Nice King is... apparently, if it wasn't for the beard, Ice King is just a chick magnet.
Yeah, I mean, it really is just the beard. That's all it is.
Yeah. I guess so. And also being a king.
And also, if, like...
you just need to be a king, apparently.
Yeah, and, like,
if Ice King wasn't such a freak.
So, obviously... Everyone in Ooh wants a piece of of the Nice King.
Yeah, everybody wants the Nice King. Princesses are lining up.
Yeah. And this is where Finn and Jake, our heroes, enter the story. Finn's wandering on. He's carrying a severed head for some reason.
Yeah. Finn has a very interesting moral compass. He doesn't seem to mind. Sometimes he seems to not want to kill things, but also he seems to not ever... sometimes he just goes for it and just brutally murders stuff.
As long as they're evil things.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes he shows evil things mercy.
Sometimes, but not often.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I guess they're just irredeemable, and you just gotta behead them.
Yep. So Finn and Jake meet the Nice King, and obviously they don't recognize him either, because he's so nice. And they become his nice knights.
They become nice. They are dubbed nice knights.
Yes, but apparently, what the nice knights do is, what do they call it? Categorize.
Yeah, they need to categorize the princesses.
Categorize and organize the princesses, who are all coming for the Nice King's affections. And they gotta turn some of them away, because there's only so much Nice King to go around.
Of course.
Valuable
Nice King
time
here.
Yeah, this brings Finn some sadness.
Yeah, some inner conflict comes.
It hurts to break princesses' hearts. You just can't do it.
You just can't make princesses cry.
Exactly. But Ice King, he's like got the few princesses that he likes, and he's like standing on them and making them walk around in a circle.
For some reason he likes the dog princess.
I don't know what's going on with him.
It's kind of gross.
But anyway, eventually they figure him out. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
He is the Ice King.
Once Ice King makes the fatal mistake of sending them to his own house to grab his beard trimmer, Finn and Jake put it all together from the massive pile of hair in his house, I guess.
Yep.
It was a dead giveaway.
They're pretty good detectives when you think about it that way.
Except for the fact that they couldn't recognize Ice King when he was standing right in front of them.
Well, it was like social psychology. Everyone called him the Nice King, so he was the Nice King. Right. That's just how it works.
Yeah, notwithstanding the blue skin and the same voice or anything.
And the same crown.
But
anyway...
Which he only hid in the first scene.
Yep. So...
Well, they're not actually that great at detectives.
So they go back and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, they go back and do what they do best. They beat the crap out of Ice King. And then glue his beard hair back on.
Yep. And that's
the end of the episode. Nice and simple.
All the princesses beat up Ice King. That's it.
Yeah. That's probably why it's not remembered very well.
I mean, it's not... It's a funny episode, but it's just sort of like... And then it's over.
Yeah.
And it's like, alright.
It just establishes, I guess, that Ice King is a master of disguise.
And like, he starts the episode, he's like talking into a banana. He's just a crazy person. He's just a sad, crazy person.
No new messages.
He's got that wizard madness and his wizard sadness.
Yeah, very so tragic.
Alright, what's the next episode?
Blood Under the Sun.
That says skin.
Oh, skin.
Can you read?
Well, it's really small text, okay?
But Blood Under the Skin is introduction of fan favorite character, Sir Slicer.
Sir Slicer.
Who, as you may know, appears many seasons later in season 10 as a member of Gumbald's posse.
Yeah.
And by appears, I mean he is in the 5 seconds of one episode.
Yeah. Does he even get a line?
No.
He's just there.
He disappeared.
I think they go over everybody who's on the team, and Sir Slicer probably gets like a little close up, like Sir Slicer.
Yep. He's
and
there.
Then that's it.
That's the fun. I just love that they called back to that.
Yeah,
that's
pretty good.
Sir Slicer, he rides around on a pink horse and makes fun of Finn for not having any armor, which really burns Finn up.
Oh yeah.
So he goes through the gauntlet of embarrassment.
Oh yeah. Also, the first appearance of Loosey Goosey.
Oh yeah. Choose Goose. And he has
the rhyming goose.
The rhyming goose who runs the shop.
Who runs an armor shop, I guess.
Yep. I think my favorite appearance of Choose Goose is in like the alternate dimension where like it's like it's the other Finn.
Right. Yeah.
And like I think it's like his thing is he like almost rhymes, but he just like at the very end doesn't do the rhyme. He says something else. Hilarious.
Horrible. What a horrible alternate reality we had.
Indeed.
We missed.
So Choose Goose sends him on an adventure to find some proper armor.
Oh yeah. After it turns out Finn's very poor and can't afford his nice new samurai armor.
Well, I think he asked for Jake's head.
Oh yeah.
in payment for the samurai armor.
Yeah, I'm not sure how. I'm not sure what Choose Goose would do with Jake's severed head there, but
I mean, I'm sure he'd find things.
Yeah.
But he goes on an epic quest to find the armor of something. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah. Zeldamore,
Zeldon, who cares?
Zeldalon, something like that.
But he goes through, first of all, the lake, or the bog.
Yeah, the bog of embarrassment, or the swamp of embarrassment.
Yeah, where just there's a bunch of curtains with people showering behind them. And it's like, alright, that's just what this place is.
Yep, there's just a gigantic... I guess it's just a shower facility.
Yeah, where do these people come from? Are they always in there?
I think they're just swamp people, and this is where swamp people shower.
Yeah. But anyway, he makes it through that just barely alive.
Oh, yeah. Somehow, Jake kind of just leaves him out to dry. The fun part is there wasn't actually any reason why Jake couldn't have just carried Finn over.
Yeah, he could have. But, he had to do it for the armor.
Quest.
I don't know. But it doesn't matter. Some stuff happens. They fight a ghost. They get the armor. Turns out it's a lady armor. Finn's not okay with that because he's not really secure in his masculinity.
I guess not.
Let's talk about the deep sexual tension.
Oh yeah.
With Finn really
getting emasculated this episode.
Really trying to find a way to prove that he is a man. Maybe the best way to prove that he's a man is to admit that he's a woman.
Yeah. Or wait. Not quite.
Maybe that's not the message the episode goes for.
Yeah, maybe
exactly.
not quite that far.
But
maybe
that's how I interpreted it.
Maybe that if you need that, real men don't need armor. That's the real
moral of the story.
Moral of the story is that if you wear armor, you're a woman.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm putting this all into my transgender studies thesis for a call that I'm using to graduate college.
Oh yeah, is that
just this one episode of Adventure Time among a few others.
Yeah, I think that'll work.
It'll go over well.
But the point is that Jake gets some rad armor and headbutts some mountains. And also a ghost.
Yep.
Yeah, but the ghost, by the way, is defeated by Jake wearing the woman's armor and pretending to be the ghost's mother and sending him outside where the sunlight makes him explode.
It's the little things that make these, like, who cares episodes really great because of all the things they could have done. It's like Jake pretends to be the ghost's mom and makes him go outside.
Also, that armor is totally...
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
the whole episode is just everybody's like, "Oh, that armor is so." I can't do it. I can't do it as well as you can.
Oh my god! Have you never clicked your tongue before?
I've never done it. Show me the ways.
It's like releasing air from your cheek.
Anyway,
but what the point is,
this makes for great podcast material. It's just us going.
The armor was prophesized to be totally.
Exactly.
No, that is not.
And I think that's my new favorite verb. Is that the word?
It's not a verb. What? It's an adjective. Are you kidding me?
Sorry, I'm bad at words today.
Oh
my new favorite adjective is. I can't do it anyway. So I give
Louise. Up. Yeah, how can it be your... What a poser.
I'm a failure.
It's your favorite adjective. You can't even pronounce it. You are totally not.
I'm sorry.
Don't have any armor.
We have to run away from this episode before I embarrass myself any further.
Will has completely embarrassed himself.
We've come full circle. I've embarrassed myself.
Into episode 3, it came from the Nightosphere.
We get Marceline, everyone's favorite character.
Finally. They only watch this show for Marceline. Every other episode sucks.
I mean, that describes several people, I think.
Oh, really?
There must be some people who are like, oh, Marceline's the only good character.
But, whatever. Those people don't exist. And if they do, I will make them not exist.
Ooh, dangerous words.
The point is, this is the best episode.
Because Marceline's
in it. And the second point is we get to see Hudson Aberdeen. Which he's not even named in this episode.
Oh yeah, they just call him Marceline's dad.
Yeah, it's just Marceline's dad in this episode.
Yeah, but Hudson Aberdeen, Marceline's singing her song about how Daddy ate her fries.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a metaphor for something, but who cares?
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
It's a metaphor for abandonment.
Indeed.
Because, sometimes, just like in real life, sometimes dads just eat your fries and leave. Just like in real life. It really hits home.
It's really tragic.
But the point is, in order to make Marceline feel better, Finn decides to summon Marceline's dad from hell to Earth with an ancient unholy ritual. Not unlike the one I used to summon you here today.
Yes. And this family reunion goes horribly. Because Hudson Aberdeen is an evil monster. He's going to murder everyone. He's actually
literally Satan.
I mean, he's literally Satan.
He's the Adventure Time equivalent of Satan. So
pretty much, yeah.
If Satan existed, it would be him.
Yeah. And that's the episode. Finn unleashes Satan, and
Satan steals Marceline's base and also sucks out some souls. enraging both Finn and Marceline.
So they go to beat him up.
So they go to beat him up for the base and also souls.
Yes, and you know, Hudson Abdir is a pretty funny character. He's just going around like he's talking to like the little puffball. It's like, I know an exercise to help you with that. First, close your eyes. Okay, wham! It just hits him in the face. It's like, what a dick.
Yeah. We get our first introduction to Gunther over here.
Oh yeah, Gunther.
The throwaway joke.
Oh yeah.
That becomes a whole episode later.
You are by far the most evil creature I have ever encountered. Surrender your soul to me, Dark One.
No, I can't give my soul to you.
I don't even have... Whatever, just get in here.
Man. Gunther, or Orgalorg, as he is also known, laying the smackdown on Hudson over here. We never get... This is top 10 anime fights. Orgalorg versus Hudson Abdir.
It was a pretty epic duel.
Yeah,
to say the least.
This is probably my favorite fight in any anime because it's the best.
Having a hard time finishing that sentence.
Yeah.
But anyway,
the point is,
Finn and Marceline finally catch up and start fighting Hudson Abdir. But at that point, he's grown many, many stories tall and has revealed his weird, disgusting blob face, which is amazing to look at.
Yeah, it's a really cool face because it's been inside his mouth this whole time.
Yeah. But basically, I love how, like, it just fills up the entire screen and you see his mouth, like, opening sideways to talk. And it's the creepiest, weirdest thing ever that I never want to look at ever again because it gives me nightmares.
You have this, eldritch abomination talking to his daughter being like, I love you, Marceline. Don't you ever forget that.
Yep, and it's awesome.
It's pretty awesome. Finn then slices open his soul gullet and releases all the souls. And also uses his sword and demon banishing skills.
To banish him back to hell from whence he came.
To finally seal him away in hell.
Thank God. I wonder if the Nidosphere is adjacent to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, I think, they probably are in the same area, postcode wise.
Indeed.
They probably, they get their mail mixed up a lot, so they probably
Yeah.
Lots of hell stuff gets sent to the Nidosphere. They gotta send it back.
Yeah, it's a real pain. But anyway.
Or they just eat it, but,
Marceline has an emotionally exhausting adventure. Finn has a physically exhausting adventure where he had to fight the Lord of all evil.
And Jake was in his pocket the whole time.
Basically by himself. Yeah, because Jake just decides not to help, I guess.
Yeah. Jake was, Jake was too afraid of all the vampires to come out of the pocket.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. But I guess that's the brick joke of the episode, is just, for the entire episode, Finn has this little pocket sewn onto his shirt, and it's like, you forget. After a while, you sort of forget it's there. But then at the very end, Marceline's like, "Hey,
no mention of it."
Yeah, hey, I mean to ask, what's with that pocket? Oh, Jake's in here, and Jake's just in his pocket.
What's up, Jake?
And that's just the end of the episode.
Yeah, I guess the voice actor was sick that day.
Maybe, or maybe they just didn't have anything for him to say.
I guess so.
It was a Finn and Marceline episode.
Speaking of things not having things to say, we should move on to the next episode called The Eyes.
Oh my god.
The Eyes.
So this is
Speaking of Eldritch Abominations.
So this is one of, like, I gotta say, this is like one of the funniest episodes in the show.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
If you don't remember, this is the episode where Finn and Jake, after 7 straight days of nonstop adventuring, they're finally trying to get to sleep, but they can't sleep because, lo and behold, there is a horse staring at them through the window.
Unblinking. Just staring at them.
Unmoving. It's just, I want you to imagine something for a moment. I want you to like, with your headphones on, of course, lie down in bed. Just close your eyes, but with your eyes closed, imagine that out the window, directly out the window, there is a horse staring at you. Are you imagining it?
Well, don't bother imagining it, because there is a horse staring at you.
Right now.
No, look out your window.
Don't look. Don't look at the horse.
Look at it, do it.
Don't do it. If you look at the horse, it will know.
I dare you. You're a wuss if you don't.
Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the curse.
The horse definitely won't eat you if you look at it.
That's not guaranteed at all. But anyway, now that you've been thoroughly horrified by this scenario, now you can empathize with Finn and Jake as they are in this very same scenario. They make the grave error of looking at the horse.
Yeah, they do that immediately. But the good news is that they have a plan to get rid of it.
They go out there and Finn's like, I have a plan. And so they try to talk the horse into leaving. But it doesn't work.
The horse will not listen to reason.
The horse will not listen to reason. So what's their next plan? I don't know. Finn, push it. But the horse is immovable.
Yeah, the horse. They kind of give up on the strategy pretty quick. Honestly, Jake kind of just moves them away.
Yeah, Jake picks them up and puts them over.
Why didn't Jake just throw him into the ocean or something?
It would have done no good. No power can stop the horse.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And after that, they're like, okay, that didn't work. But wait a minute. This is a dumb horse. We can probably lure it away with the music, which an ingenious plan, if you ask me.
Truly inspired.
And so Jake plays some music, but unfortunately only lures snakes.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Jake is a master snake charmer,
but not a master horse charmer.
Nah.
So that didn't work. So they got to try another plan.
The horse suspiciously brave in the face of snakes over here. By the way,
I'm afraid of snakes. But the next plan is to dress the horse up like a bunny, and have giant hawks come and take the horse away. Which again, ingenious plan. I never would have thought of it myself.
I don't know.
But that's why they're the experts.
Why don't they just use the snakes and get the snakes to bite the horse?
What are you talking about? They can't control snakes. What are you, crazy?
You could charm them.
Can't. Anyway.
The point is...
It works perfectly.
It works like a charm, as expected.
The hawks come and take the horse away. So they go back in their house to go to bed. But the hawks drop the horse...
Directly into the house.
Directly into their house. And it's like, Jake, the horse is in her house. I know that, dude. I can see. You don't have to say it out loud. I think my favorite part of this episode is just the fact that they have all these insane plans that all like work perfectly except for the point where they backfire. Which it doesn't... I love how they
work perfectly, but the plans just end up not accomplishing their goal.
Yeah, which is the stupid plans that like, oh, that's retarded. Why? But it works. The funny part is that it works, but it just doesn't work how they want it to.
Exactly. It just doesn't work as well as they need it to.
It's like they were close, I guess, is the weird thing. But finally, Finn has had enough.
Finn has been pushed to anger.
Yeah. There is one bit, though, where Jake's like, man, we gotta kill this horse.
And it's true. I would have killed that horse years ago.
So Finn, he's been pushed past anger into absolute rage. He kicks the horse, and lo and behold, the reveal. Who's inside the horse?
It was Ice King.
Why?
Why was Ice King spying on them?
So, the Ice King was inside the horse all along.
Yeah.
Now, remember when we had this horse scenario that we had we traumatized the viewer by having them imagine? I want you to go back to that scenario just briefly. And imagine now that the horse deflates and an old wizard appears out from under it. And then he leaves.
Yeah. And also he wanted to spy on you to find out how you were so happy.
Indeed. And that is what happens in this episode. Ice King is revealed, and he's like, dude, what the heck? And Ice King's just like casually packing up his horse and it's like, gentleman, as he walks out the door. And then they body tackle him from behind and beat the crap out of him.
But it turns out Ice King just wanted to learn how to be happy.
And in the end of the episode,
it turns out happiness is impossible.
Yep.
Just as I always knew.
Call back to the beginning of the episode where, like, you know, it's showing them on their adventures, and, like, Ice King's like, they beat up Ice King or whatever, and he's like, I just want to be happy. Just a great line on its own.
But Ice King will never be happy. Never.
And that goes for that episode. I'm sorry I had to traumatize you all. You're all going to have nightmares about the horse thing for the rest of your lives.
Good.
And I thank you for sticking with us through this hardship.
And I hope I can re-traumatize you with the next episode. Storytelling.
This isn't equally traumatizing. I mean,
yeah, it's pretty
neither of these episodes are as traumatizing as Slow Love.
Oh, yeah.
But this one's pretty traumatizing.
Yeah, very sexual episodes, this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of focus on romance.
Yeah, so Jake is sick, and he needs Finn to tell him this very specific story in order for him to get better.
Yeah, mostly because Jake is pretending to be sick.
Yeah, Jake's an asshole.
He's
just doing Big Brother things, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess. But the point is, the story cannot be fake, so Finn must actually experience the story and then relay it to Jake.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So he goes out to find a story that has romance, a fight, suspense, and
a happy ending. You know, we watched this episode like 20 minutes ago, right?
I'm sorry. You're just a little too fast for me. But anyway, the first thing he does is he's got to find some romance. So what he does is force a duck and a fox to make out in front of him.
Yeah, so Finn sexually assaults a duck and a fox.
Exactly, and that's what happens. The duck is upset because she feels she is now soiled for life because her lips made contact with his fox.
Yeah.
And the fox is upset because he actually was in love with the duck.
But it turns out the duck's not into him.
Duck's not into him. And now he will never be happy because he will never get his true love. And this is the first episode, I guess, in which this character,
this fox,
the depressed fox, appears.
I guess the fox never really does move on from what's her face.
He just remains depressed forever.
Yep.
I think one of my favorite. I just thought of one of my favorite Mr. Fox moments way later in season 6. And, like, Finn is, like, astrally projecting for an episode. One of my favorite episodes. He goes to, like, the fox's house. And, like, the fox is asleep. And he also has an astral projection. But his astral projection is just, like, sitting there reading the newspaper.
Yeah.
So, like, this is what the fox does with his, like, astral projection ability. And he just has. He's so depressed that he has this ability. And also so depressed that this is all he uses it for. I love the fox. He's one of my favorite characters.
Yep. I'm surprised it didn't turn out the fox killed himself at the end of the series.
Yeah, I mean, I predicted it, but it never happened. So I guess maybe he got out okay.
Maybe.
But anyway, after traumatizing these 4 poor woodland creatures, he goes and challenges a bear to a fight, and he wins, and that's the fight taken care of.
Sort of.
Now he's just got to get some suspense in there, and then a happy ending. So he's going to crush some baby chicks with a rock. But obviously this is a little bit too hardcore for Finn. He decides he needs to stop. But at this point, all the woodland creatures have decided to gang up on him and just totally kill him.
Yeah.
Because he sexually assaulted a fox and a duck, and he beat up a bear, and now he's got to go down. And he is going to go down.
So, like, the forest wizard, I guess.
He's like the grass wizard. He's the one who, like, creates the grass sword.
Wizard, huh?
And then later, Fern. What a callback. But anyway, the grass wizard is going to literally put him in the ground. But right before that happens, Finn, like, points out, is like, hey, you goose lady, you really need to confess your feelings to the goose man. And she does. And fox man, you gotta get over it, or you're gonna be sad forever.
You're kind of a fox. Probably wouldn't have worked out with the goose.
Yeah,
buddy.
That's true. And, you know, solves the familial disputes between the bear and his mother. And that's pretty much it. There's a cow for some reason.
There's like a cow with like a really creepy udder.
I didn't know cows lived in the forest.
Domestic cow just hanging out in the forest with all the forest creatures.
we don't.
I guess they needed to have that udder joke really bad.
Yeah, we don't know her life. Maybe that's just part of who she is. But anyway, the forest creatures decide that Finn, despite his horrible abuse all around to the creatures of the forest, they forgive him and let him go. And Finn has a happy ending. So he goes to tell Jake his story, and Jake is immediately cured by the power of the story. And that's the end of the episode.
Amazing. And then also Finn gets sick.
This is another one of those just really weird episodes.
Yeah.
That, like, slipped out of my memory because, like, I don't know, it's just so bizarre. I'm trying... Imagine the image of a boy forcing a goose and a fox to kiss. And that will conjure up all the emotions you need to understand this episode.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird.
Some weird stuff going on in this show, man. Some weird stuff. But nevertheless, we must carry on into the most weird stuff-filled episode of this batch.
Yeah, this might be the weirdest episode.
This episode is called Slow Love. And the weird innuendos aside with just the title.
Yeah.
This episode is about a slug
trying to get laid. Yeah, and they spend the whole episode on that too.
Yeah, that's not like a side joke. It's the entire episode. Is this snail trying to
get it? A giant snail, by the way, that destroys their house.
Yeah, it's trying to get it on. And oh yeah, BMO's there at the very beginning. I love BMO. BMO is the best, and BMO being like, BMO living that thug life. Like Jake's like, turn that music down, BMO. He just turns it up. Oh my god, BMO. You're so hardcore.
So hardcore.
Jake hasn't learned how to be a proper parent yet, as we know. So he just yells at BMO and tells him to go sit in the corner.
Go sit in the corner and think about your life.
But yeah, a giant slug shows up. And yeah.
Asks Jake and Finn to help him find a lady snail.
Which they do.
And they do. You know, there's apparently a lot of these just snails running around.
A lot of giant snails just hanging around. You know, there's some mishaps. You know, he has trouble talking to women, which, you know, that's something I can relate to at the very least.
You know, very relatable snail here.
Yeah, and then...
whenever I talk to a woman, I freak out and start shouting and spitting at them. Yeah. Just like in the episode.
That happens to me all the time. But
that's why I never leave my house.
So they decide that they need to teach him some sword tricks and how to beatbox, which
he picks up instantly. He's a champ,
and he lays down some sick beats while waving some swords around, and this summons all the lady snails to his side immediately. Unfortunately,
the lady snails all start grinding up on him.
Yeah, they all start. This is where the episode gets really weird. I don't know if you picked up on it yet. Yeah. The last part wasn't the weird part. This is the weird part. Where all the snails are grinding against each other. It's very disturbing, and that is the true thing that won't leave my dreams forever.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they decided to give like this snail sex thing like its whole episode. Like
that's my favorite sentence you've ever uttered.
I'm not sure, like, I mean, you know, I don't know.
It's pretty funny.
I mean, it's pretty funny, I guess.
But, like...
It's very weird, though.
Dear God, guys. Who wrote this episode? Yeah. I need to find the name and track them down and ask them so many questions. Like, what inspired you to write this episode? Yeah, because
it's like, you know, most of the... Like, there's a lot of weird stuff in this. But usually it's like... In Adventure Time, I mean. But usually it's like weird, cool stuff.
This is just weird,
man. It's just sort of like... This is just off the wall, and it feels like it was somebody's fetish.
I hope it wasn't somebody's fetish.
I don't know. The weird length of time that Jake spends in snail form. It's kind of weird.
I forgot about that. Switching between male and
females. Female snails apparently have boobs, I guess. It's very disturbing.
It's very weird.
We're very sexualized snails.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I think we need to call...
it an episode here.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah, I think we're done. Hold on. The episode ends. Turns out he's not a snail, he's a slug.
Yeah.
This actually helps him find a compatible slug girlfriend.
Yeah, somehow...
And that's how it ends.
Somehow that was the problem. He didn't know his own species.
Mm-hmm. And no,
Thank God this guy never shows up again.
Yeah, thank God. He's not a reoccurring character we need or want. But that's the end of the episode. Thank God. Dear God.
Yeah, moving on.
Let's get out of this episode. I'm scared now.
Power Animal. That's a real man's episode.
Oh, yeah. The episode in which Finn is kidnapped and Jake does nothing to help him. This episode is characterized by... This is...
The gnomes.
The gnomes. Which, you know, have you ever watched Gravity Falls? They stole all their first episode jokes from this episode, as we now know.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Anyway. But, like... This is a very poignant episode, teaching a very valuable lesson. Like, when strangers show up at your party, they're probably gnomes, and they're probably going to kidnap you.
Yeah, don't let weird people into your party.
And they're probably
This
going
is good
to
life advice, actually.
probably going to use your body for energy.
Yeah, this is the child trafficking episode where they go into, like, if you don't talk to strangers or they will kidnap you and lock you into complex machinery.
And force you to
you to generate power for their devices.
You know, through various means, like running on a hamster wheel, pole dancing.
Yeah. Also very weird.
These episodes are weird, man. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening right now. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared, man. I don't like where this is going.
Oh, yeah. So they generate power through running on a giant hamster wheel, sexy dance time, and also his thoughts.
Yes. Which... Okay. But meanwhile, Jake is trying to track him down, and he's not doing a very good job.
Nope.
He's not good at it.
Jake learns that he is very easily distracted.
You know, he's mostly distracted by putting ice cream in the toaster.
Yeah.
That's the reoccurring gag.
He's very distracted by ice cream and toasters, but he's also distracted by dancing bugs and bad jokes and cloud parties.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it happens. But luckily, all his ridiculous partying and not being on task
helps him off, actually.
All pays off, because he meets up with the one and only Party God. Who is a giant talking wolf head. And because Jake's partying prowess is so great, he grants him a wish. And he wishes to find Finn.
And he wishes that he could focus on finding Finn.
And he does so with the power of 1,000 partiers inside of him. He
actually is infused with the souls of 1,000 party demons.
Right. And Jake assumes his true Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan form.
Yeah.
In which he just glows with weird eyes.
He becomes Super Saiyan Star, which turns your eyes into stars.
Yes. He dives down the well, which is where Finn was being hidden by the gnomes all along.
Yeah, wow, the gnomes have actually been there the whole time.
Yep. And he rescues Finn and destroys all their machinery.
Including the upside downinator, which would have turned the entire world upside down. The engineering's very sound.
I was so hoping you would say the line, because I couldn't think of it. Anyway...
Look, alright. Jake so the main thrust of this episode is that it's basically torture porn for Finn.
Yes.
It's just Finn getting tortured the whole episode, and Jake...
And, including psychological torture, because, he goes into, his mind, where he, he's, wasn't that, an episode of The Twilight Zone? Where, there's, a guy who's, about to be hung, and, he as it's happening, you see him escape and go off and escape the people trying to hang him, but then at the very end of the episode, it turns out it was all the dream, and it was just a dream he was having as he was falling and right before his neck gets snapped at the very end. This happens in was that? I don't think that was actually Twilight. Was that Twilight Zone?
It sounds like a Twilight Zone episode.
It might have just been a story that I read in high school. Anyway, that's what happened. That happens to Finn, and he has this epic dream where he's ripped and he beats up all the gnomes, and Jake shows up, and he's also ripped.
And, that basically happens in real life later, except with 1,000 party demons.
Yeah, that happens. And that's the end of the episode. Turns out Jake being distracted all the time is a good thing because everything works out in the end in cartoons. Yeah. And that's the moral of the story.
Jake.
Good job, everybody. This is another fun one. Like, everyone's favorite Adventure Time gif comes from this episode, like Jake dancing with the bug. What's the next episode on the docket?
Crystals have power.
Ooh,
the triumphant return.
The triumphant return of the one and only Tree Trunks. The best character in the show, really.
Finn finds a crystal with some Tree Trunks lipstick on it and finds it very suspicious. Yep. So he brings it back home.
Yeah.
But before he can investigate it, he's challenged to a tough guy contest by Jake.
And Jake, he just goes too far overboard and hurts Finn's feelings and his body.
Yeah, it kind of hurts him in a very unspecific way.
Yeah. Crushes him to death.
Crushes his soul.
Yep. And Jake decides that he needs to stop being such a violent psychopath, which is going to be a hard transition for him.
That's going to be really hard for Jake. That's a big switch for him.
But, he decides he needs to go fully soft, and by that he means he just becomes really nice and round.
And that's why he sinks directly into the floor as a puddle.
He just becomes like a little circle boy. He's pretty cute.
As opposed to his normal ovalness.
Exactly. He becomes a big old softy. But just as he's making this resolution,
the crystal implodes into a giant portal.
A bunch of crystal guys comes out and is like, "Are you Finn the human?" It's like, "Depends. Are you good or evil?" It's like, "We're good." "Oh, then I'm Finn. Get him!"
Get him!
It's like, fooled again by the ingenious Crystal Guardians.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to get one past a Crystal Guardian.
But anyway, this whole episode is like, there's just one crystal guy that's like standing in front of Finn while he's being turned into crystal by the other crystal guys. And Jake just spends the whole episode trying to Undertale pacifist route his way through this guard. And he just cannot do it.
Yeah, wrestling with the ghost of his father.
Wrestling with the ghost of his father, who encouraged him onward toward violence. Understandably so, because violence is sick and Joshua's the best.
Yeah, violence is pretty cool.
But
it turns out that it's revealed dramatically that Jake was traumatized when he beat up his brother, Jermaine.
Jermaine, yeah.
First appearance of Jermaine.
Doesn't have the same voice actor later.
No, he doesn't have the same voice actor.
And
that guy probably died.
I didn't like that voice actor.
Yeah, that voice actually sucked.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Thank God they got a pro on it.
Thank God they got Greg Universe to do it instead.
Thank God.
I wish I could remember his real name.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel kind of bad. But anyway,
I think I remember names. Come on.
But anyway, the meat of this episode is just Jake trying and failing to get past his crystal guard, and it's pretty freaking funny. It's just all his little attempts to get by it.
Yeah, it tries intimidation by becoming a giant fridge.
It's pretty good. And the Crystal Guardian's just all like, "Just get out of here, man.
Yeah,
you weird me out. Stop it, man."
But anyway, Finn is finally turned into a crystal, and they let him in because it's already the process is done, and it's finally revealed why he was turned into a crystal. It turns out it was Tree Trunks the whole time.
And let me tell you why Tree Trunks is my favorite character. It's because she just talks so slowly all the time.
Yeah?
Is that why? It's so funny. I don't know why. It's just the funniest thing I've ever heard. Whenever she just other people are talking, and then she starts talking, it's like, "Okay, guys, I'm gonna go make some and the camera just focused on her face for a full minute as she's saying a sentence, and it's the funniest thing. But anyway, Tree Trunks shows up. She's been empowered by the crystal apple that she ate these many seasons ago, or one season ago, many episodes ago. And now she is the crystal goddess, who wants Finn to be the crystal king, and his husband. He's basically Tree Trunks wants Finn to be her husbando, and this is not gonna go down. Jake's not gonna let it happen because he remembers by remembers, I mean, he has a flashback talk with his father and also brother who is dreaming at the same time as him.
Yeah.
Because that's how they communicate. That's
exactly.
how it works. But his father says, "Oh, I said you're always gonna hurt people. Evil people.
Evil people.
You should really let me finish next time." It's like, oh, okay. And then he gets his will to battle back.
This instantly solves the moral dilemma.
Yeah. Oh, I'm over this now. I think he literally says that.
Yeah.
And he beats up tree trunks, returns her to normal, and saves the day.
Great work.
Great work, Jake.
And we finally learned a valuable lesson that violence is necessary.
Violence is always necessary, as all these episodes are teaching us.
And also that Tree Trunks is a pedophile.
That is very
Tree Trunks
true.
is clearly elderly.
Man, why are all these episodes so goddamn sexualized?
It's very, and also an elephant, which it's a little bit weird.
I mean, that makes it a little weirder, but
like,
not that much
it's
weirder.
It's like, Finn is like, 13, right? Tree Trunks?
Yeah,
like,
it's a little messed up. It's a
little messed up. Tree Trunks. You're like, I don't know. I mean, maybe baby elephant or whatever.
You're like 80,000 years old or something.
You're like really old.
Who knows?
Whatever. Pedophilia notwithstanding.
Let's get out of this
the
episode.
Next episode is her parents.
Alright, this episode doesn't have any weird sex stuff going on, so that's a plus. In this episode, Jake is meeting Lady Rainicorn's parents. And I like this little relationship that Jake has with Lady Rainicorn. That is how it slowly progresses throughout the series. Like, just every now and then there's an episode, and the next time we see her, like, they're having kids. And it's adorable. I can't wait until we get to the Jake's Kids episodes.
Yeah,
those are all awesome. I love all of them.
But the point is, in order to smooth things over with the parents before Lady Rainicorn gets there, Jake decides to telepathically invite them to come over early so they can meet each other. But Jake doesn't think very far ahead and had not considered the dog Rainicorn Wars and how they might affect the parents' perception of him.
Yep. Apparently there was a great and 1,000-year epic war between dogs and rainicorns for territory in the crystal dimension. Which is exactly...
Yeah, unfortunately...
That's exactly... when are we getting a spin-off miniseries about the Rainicorn Dog War?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. We never learn anything about these wars. Who won? I mean, I guess the Rainicorns won, because they own Rainicorn space now, don't they?
No. Maybe. I know that much later in the show, there's like a Lady Rainicorn-centric episode with Lady Rainicorn and TV.
Yeah.
Where they go to the crystal dimension. I think there's dogs there, too.
Oh.
So maybe it all
worked out.
Maybe it all ended peacefully. I think there's dogs there. I know there's like a bunch of...
Maybe they won.
Angry teen Rainicorns that don't like the dog cops.
Oh yeah.
I have a specific memory of that weird joke.
Yeah, I guess dogs did win then.
Yeah, maybe they won. Maybe the dogs are in charge and the Rainicorns are oppressed in the crystal dimension. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll have to watch this series and find out.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to do that. But anyway, back to this episode. What happens in this episode?
Jake decides to disguise himself.
Oh wait, actually, Finn has a brilliant plan. And that plan is to paint Jake with condiments and pretend he's a rainicorn. Which works perfectly, of course.
Of course.
Unfortunately, they can't fool them into thinking Finn is also a rainicorn. And they think he's a butler.
And also a goblin.
Which means that they're allowed to abuse him for some reason.
Yeah, it's because Lady Rainicorn's parents are a little bit old-fashioned.
They're a little bit old-fashioned, and they just play a bunch of rainicorn games. All of which end in Finn just getting the crap beat out. It just gets totally wrecked.
Yeah, these traditional Rainicorn games actually suck loads of balls, actually. Because they involve turning the wall red.
Yeah.
Flying around in circles.
Yep.
Launching things into bottles.
That's probably the best part of the episode.
Best part of the episode.
It's just, he springs them off and launches them. And
it's the build-up, I think, that makes it the best part. Because it's like all these relatively, inane things that aren't that bad.
Yeah.
Like, doing this, poking him a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
laughing at him, and then suddenly they launch him directly into glass and like bust glass in his face.
The way it's told is really good because like you just see Finn and he gets launched and like okay, what are they launching Finn for? You see he lands and like smashes into a glass, and then like you see the dad run up, pick him up, and bring him back so he can be launched again. And it's like, oh my god, why? This is horrifying. So Finn's a little fed up, and finally Jake's like, please, homie, you gotta help me, homie. Homies help homies, and that's the moral of this story, is homies help homies.
What a great moral.
Then they decide to eat him.
Yeah, they misunderstand a little bit of Jake's words and interpret it as meaning it's time to eat Finn.
And they do. They start eating him. But then Jake finally reveals his true form and rescues Finn from being devoured by the rainicorns. Because apparently they just eat humans.
Oh, apparently that's just what rainicorns eat.
Yeah, I mean, no wonder they're almost extinct.
Yeah, it's true. But turns out, after revealing that he is in fact a dog, turns out that they like dogs even more than rainicorns.
Because a dog saved her dad in the war. Comedy.
That was pretty funny. I like the picture of him in the war.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Showing like the dog and the rainicorn like in like the military fatigues.
Yeah.
Like, all right. I believe this war was a thing now. This is an important part of the lore. I think we need to address the dog rainicorn war more. When's that spin-off series? And then Lady Rainicorn arrives, and they all bond together over a nice plate of human tofu.
Yeah. It tastes exactly the same as the real thing.
And you know, that's a little weird. But okay. And Finn's like, alright.
Alright.
This is fine. You know, it is. I think this is like the first like true reference though to Finn like being the only human.
Maybe.
You know, so
I thought they were extinct. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like a goofy episode, but there's also a little bit of lore, just like a little lore tied in there. It's like, oh, we thought humans were extinct. It's like, oh,
did they not mention that he's the last human?
No, not until this point. I don't think. I mean, I know later like they have a whole episode about it with Susan. But until then, this is like the first time where it's all like, oh yeah, Finn's the only human.
How do they know he's a human if he's the only human? How do they know what humans are?
Anyway, the point is, interesting lore. Finn's the last human. What happened to the humans? Well, we don't know yet, do we?
Nope.
We don't know about the strange, enormous tragedy that apparently wiped out all life.
Yeah.
And left behind remnants of a civilization in this crazy hypercolor, strange, bizarre, magical wonderland that is Ooh. Mysteries upon mystery.
In this irradiated, mutated hellscape that is Ooh.
Yep, it's a very strange place, and we're finding out it's even stranger than we thought. And that wraps it up for this episode of the Retrotime Adventure Time Retrospective Podcast. Ugh. The Retrotime Retrospective Podcast.
Amazing. About
Adventure Time Season 2, Part 1. Bye-bye.
Nice, King. I can't think of anything.